Now, one of the great insights our team member in New York had for me last week is don't forget to talk about what's going on with state law. How many of you have employees outside of the state of Florida? So you have to be double careful, double diligent. That's a different presentation that I often give. That's a big piece of what we talk about. Things going on in Washington, D.C. right now are so dysfunctional that what we see is state and local governments are really taking control back. And that is making our lives as HR professionals insane because it's different everywhere. What you can do and what you can't do, and the same is going on with healthcare reforms. You all know that every state is going to have their own exchange. There are going to be different rules, different requirements. So everything I talk about is always federal because I go all over the country and I try to add state things when I can, but pretty much this is federal. If you operate in other states, please be aware to look at some of these things that might impact employees in that state. These are benefits you're providing. These are things that you're doing to add to their overall work-life balance that you don't have to do. And we want people to really understand that providing training opportunities, career development, career pathing is all part of your total reward package to your employees. Because as you get pushed with this healthcare reform changes, not only are you going to have to make financial decisions as far as what you're going to offer in the future and what you're not, but it's going to become less of a differentiator between you and the other people employees are looking at for employment. So businesses are deciding, do we cut people back to 28 hours so that we don't have to give them benefits? The problem that we as HR people have got to be aware of is that going to cause someone to go out and get a second job. And now you're trying to work with an employee population that works 24 hours for you and 15 hours at McDonald's. And now they can't stay overtime because they have a second job. And you're the one who cut them back the 8 or 10 hours that caused them to do that. And is that going to start to be a real issue next year? I think it is. I think it's something that we as HR professionals are just going to have to watch and address. You treat that as 10 hours a week.
Correct. 10 hours worked.
So is that what most of you are doing? So what I will tell you is the community college where I teach as an adjunct professor has now created a policy, and people are in an uproar that no adjunct can teach more than 2 classes a semester. It is your obligation. Is this the first you guys are here? This is why I'm here. So, anybody, and for a lot of you it may not even hit until November, but if somebody makes $220,000 a year and their spouse does not work, you are going to have to tax them 0.9% on that $20,000. And the reason they're going to be coming in is because these people get the same paycheck every single week. And all of a sudden it's going to drop. Now it's not going to drop a lot, but some of them make a lot of money and it may drop $100, it may drop $30, whatever the number is. And anyone you have in engineering and actuarial services, they will be in your office. Your marketing people, you will not see. They will have no idea. But you will see. Beware of the engineers. They will be there. So, you may not. It is in the law that the employee cannot say to you, I'm not going to have to pay that, just stop it. You must take it. We refer to it in Gallagher as counting belly buttons. Do they count how many people are on the plan? Is there one rate for family, another rate for single? And that was the best example I heard, is that they're going to start to look like. So those of us who give that down typically to a clerical level person, there's going to be some education required. Automatic enrollment is something that's coming. We don't know much about it yet, but you're going to have to make your own rules up about what that'll look like. Again, we're telling people to really think about including domestic partner or not. How many of you have domestic partner coverage today? It's going to get more expensive. And with the reporting and the imputed income, we don't really see people dropping it, but we just want to bring it up as yet another thing. These are what's in Congress today. The first is, have you guys heard that about 3 weeks ago they introduced a Comp Time Act for those of us in the private sector? It's called the Working Families Flexibility Act, getting a lot of support. The issue is that it's completely voluntary on both sides. So people are telling me it's never going to go through because the unions are opposed to it. By the same token, I don't know why anyone's opposed to it because it's voluntary. Sometimes I think they just get opposed to it because someone else introduced it. Hopefully you're all familiar with the Immigration Act that went in. The interesting thing about that is that it is being co-sponsored by 3 Democrats and 3 Republicans. Somebody told me last week that the changes to that law are already over 800 pages. So if you'd like to read it, if you can't sleep at night, I think we're going to see some movement in immigration in the next 18 months, to be determined exactly what. So these are just all the things we didn't even get to. Get employee feedback on what's working for them and what's not, so that you're not putting money into benefits that nobody cares about. I heard the funniest thing, and I can have 20 seconds. We have a client that 3 times a day offers meditation in the workplace. And you know what I said to their director of HR? I said, has anybody talked to the managers about this? And she's like, not really. I said, I'm not sure we want our employees that calm. I mean, don't we want them fired up a little bit? I mean, 3 times a day somebody's going to meditate? So make sure you're offering things that people want. Update your employee handbook to reflect changes, ensure all your contracts are the same, consider domestic partner, 90 days, doesn't, and then relax. So, therein lies the information. Thank you for coming.